Okay, so let's move to the next part. And in this part, we are going to fix few things, in which the first one is like we are going to make only one request instead of two. And the second one is we are going to introduce a loading icon. Yeah, so to make it looks good. So while we are making a request, so we will show a loading icon. And once we get the results, so then we can hide that loading icon and we can show the results. So the first one is we are going to replace two requests with one. And if I go back to the API documentation, so inside this documentation, inside this table of content, I can see that built-in API request by city name. So when I click on it, so we get this API call. So we are going to make use of this API call, where we will pass the city name and we will get the weather conditions directly. So we do not need to get the latitude and longitude. So let me just remove this request. Okay, so this is being used in one place. So let's click on it and let's go to this place. Yeah, so I think I need to remove this one. Yeah, I need to remove this one. Okay, so let's remove this request and let's give it a name, get city weather. And let's see if we are using the correct URL endpoint. So as you know that this is going to be our base URL, and this one is our requests URL endpoint. So let's update this one. That's correct. Okay, that's perfect. Let's move to the next part, and the next part is going to be the same. So there is no more change. If I run this request, so we are getting the results. So this is successful, and by just passing the city name, we are getting the weather updates directly. So this is really, really good. So the next part is, so let's rename this event. Let's make it update weather. Right, so we'll update the weather on the page. Okay, so should we call it update weather? Okay, let's keep it update weather. Okay. When the page starts loading, so we will perform a request, and the request is this, get city weather. Okay, so when the page will load, we will get the results, and the results is about Karachi. If we change the city name, which is going to be Lahore, and if now we reload the page, so now we are getting the results for Lahore. Okay, this is one thing. And the second thing is going to be, let me just verify that we have the get city weather. Okay, I think we do not need to update these elements. This looks great. Okay, perfect. And the second fix we are going to do is we are no longer using two elements. One just to write degree Celsius. So we will ignore this part from the HTML. So let's remove this one and let's keep one only. So what we are going to do is, so inside the city temperature where we are calculating, where we are converting the Kelvins into Celsius. So here we are going to put, okay, so there is a concept which is called template literals. I would say that you must go through this concept, and it states that we can use text, we can use expressions inside. Yeah, so this is the way of writing the text and the expression. So what we can do is we can make use of template literals. We can add the variable name which contains the value which is in degree centigrade, and we can add that degree centigrade text right there inside this backticks, right? So let's go back, and this is where we are returning the results. So let's make use of backticks. Let's put this inside backtick, and let's make this an expression. Yeah. And now let's just put, let me just copy the degree centigrade symbol. Let me just copy this. It's from here. Let's go back and put it like this. Perfect. If I just see what is the results it is going to return. So this is going to return 19 degrees centigrade. So we do not need to have, I think I didn't publish the results. Let me publish it first, and then we can reload the page inside Wized. Let me refresh. And this is the result we get. This looks awesome. This looks great. So these are the two fixes. And now the third one is we are going to put the loader icon. And this is going to be even more interesting. Okay. So let's search for CSS loaders. Perfect. And I like this website, which is cssloaders.github.io. So let's use this one. And so we can customize this CSS. So let's copy this CSS. Let's copy the CSS, or before copying the CSS, let's copy the HTML first. And let's put, yeah, so we need to put the loading icon inside this card. So let's move everything, and now we do not need this hero temperature. Yeah, because we are, and once we delete that, so the good practice is hero, we will also remove it from the library. That's perfect, because this we will not use this class anymore. And we will introduce a new div block, and this is going to be hero loader. Perfect. And we can call this hero weather. And inside this hero loader, we can add an embed block, and we can now paste that HTML for the loader inside this. And to see that how it looks, so we can put the CSS right there on the page. Perfect. Okay. Okay, I think this should not be. Are we going to put this inside embed? I don't think so. Let me just think. I just wanted to, because if I just publish, this will be visible inside Wized, but I also wanted to make that loading icon visible on this dashboard on inside Webflow. So if I refresh the page, okay, so I think it's there. It's not visible because of the color. Yeah, I think so. It's white. So let's make it black. Oh, perfect. So we can see that loading icon there. Okay, so let's make few more adjustment to this part. Let's make it small. And I think this looks perfect. Yeah, this looks perfect. Let me just refresh the page. And now we can see the loading icon. Okay, so now we need to add some logics. We need to show this loading icon only when we are requesting the results from API. So let's also give this hero loader. Let's not. Okay, let's hero loader HTML, and this is going to be loader CSS. Let's not put CSS inside there. Let's put CSS up there. Okay. So, and let's give this part an attribute which is going to be Wized loader. Perfect. Let's republish this page. And once we have the attributes there, so once we have the Wized attributes, we can control this element inside Wized. We can add some logics on this part. So now we can see that this part is visible. So let's click on it and let's say that let's work on the visibility. So we want this part visible only when we are requesting for the results, right? So visibility inside this section. Let me just close all of the other section. So we have the visibility section. Let's open this. Render if only. Let's go to the data center, and for this request, if you just scroll down, so these are the few values that each request carries with it. So it is saying that when it is requesting, while it is requesting, so it is not requesting at the moment, so that's why it says false. So we can say that when it is true, only then make that part visible. I hope this makes sense, right? Now if I refresh this page, so that loading icon is only visible when we are making the request, but we can see a glitch that for the dummy data we have. Okay, so let's now improve the experience. So let's also give this part an attribute which is going to be Wized feather. Okay, let's refresh the page, republish the page, and let's reload that part. So now what we can do is, so while we are making a request, so we need this part which is hero weather, we need to keep it hidden, right? So initially, let's put a style there. So let's use this class which is hero weather. Let's go to the page settings and let's add a style tag, and let's put the class name there, and let's say that this is display is equal to none. Okay, we can also do this from here, but in this case this won't be visible even for us now. But if we put it inside the code section, so it means that that part is visible in the dashboard, but when we load the page in the browser, only then it's invisible. Now you can see that it's not visible, right? Because now that style is being rendered, is being executed. So now we can add the logic. Now we can add the logic on visibility that render this only if we are not requesting. Yeah, so this exclamation mark means that we are, while it is requesting, and when I put exclamation mark, so this means that while we are not requesting, right? So make it visible, and we can also put an inline style, which we can say that display is equal to block, right? Now if I refresh the page, now you will see that it's not visible initially when the page starts loading, and when we get the results, so then it's visible on the page, right? So this is how we can improve the experience of the user. So let's now try to change the city name. Let's go to Islamabad. Let's reload the page, and now we get the results from Islamabad, right? So this looks really good. So let's add an input field in the next lesson, but I'm very happy that we made few fixes and we improved the experience of the user a little. In the next part, we will try to add an input field, and then we will get the city name from that input.